Okay, some of my students today were saying that they had trouble with an item on their homework sheet, and this homework sheet happens to be Cycle 3, Lesson 4 of Unit 7, and this is number 3 down here. I'm going to get me a clean piece of paper, paper, that way I can do the work without showing the work I've already done with a previous class. Okay, so here is the item. Just go ahead and turn off one of the lights, please. I actually have students in the classroom right now. Okay. Number 3 says, at a town hall meeting, W people came to vote on a new town ordinance. 2/3 of the people voted yes. 5 voters abstained from the vote. A, write an algebraic expression to describe the number of people who voted no, and B, evaluate the expression if W equaled 45. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is try to make sense of this problem. I'm going to look at it again and use what I know about the real world to help me. Okay, they got a town hall meeting, and W people came to vote on a new ordinance. Now, we don't know how many people showed up to vote on this ordinance. Could be 1,000, could be 100, we don't know. So since we don't know the number of people that came to vote, we will use W to represent that unknown. 2/3 of the people voted yes, and 5 voters abstained from the vote. Now, I know that abstain means that they are there at this meeting and they are not going to vote yes or no. They just abstain. That's what that means. I was at a city council meeting not too long ago, and it involved some ambulance ordinances, and there was a guy who runs an ambulance on the city council. This is in Jackson, and he had to abstain from voting because, well, it would be a conflict of interest. Anyhow, we need to figure out for part A an algebraic expression to describe the number of people who voted no. Well, 2/3 of the people voted yes. And once again, we don't know the number of people, so we're going to say W represents the number of people who voted. Because we have the value 2/3 of W, what operation goes along with that little preposition of? What operation goes with that? All right, little y.
Multiplication.
Multiplication. So 2/3 of W voted yes, 5 voters abstained from the vote. We need to figure out how many voted no. Okay, let's look at it this way. If 2/3 voted yes, I can make a very long, complicated algebraic expression doing that. I'll show you this complicated version, and then we're going to do a simpler algebraic expression. I could say that 2/3 of the people, that would be 2/3 of W, and I know 5 voted.
Miss Tammy Simpson, please call extension 190.
5 voted to abstain from it. So this would be all the people who didn't vote no. And if we want to find out how many did vote no, we would take the total number of people who showed up and subtract from that the sum of 2/3 W and 5. The 5 who voted, who abstained from voting, and 2/3 W being the amount that voted yes. That's pretty complicated, isn't it? Well, it is. There's another way, a simpler way, that we could write an algebraic expression. If 2/3 voted yes, what fraction, if we can take 5 away from it, what fraction voted no? If 2/3 vote yes, then how much does that leave us of the whole?
1/3.
1/3. 1/3. So we could say then 1/3 of W, 1/3 of W subtract the 5 that abstained, and that would give us the number of people who voted no. So either of these algebraic expressions will work. This one or this one, and I could probably come up with another one, but those are some possible expressions that you might have came up with. How many of you wrote down one of those expressions? on your paper. Okay, I'm seeing some hands up. How many wrote down, we'll call this expression A, this expression B. How many used expression A? Okay, I see hands. How many said expression B? I see hands for that one. Okay, either one will work. Now B, I'm talking about not expression B, but this part B. Evaluate the expression of W equals 45.
Elizabeth Thomas, come to the office.
Now evaluate means solve. So we're going to solve this expression. If W equals 45, if that's the number of people who show up, I'm going to use this one because it's simpler. 1/3 of 45, subtract 5. Well, I know that 1/3 of 45 is 15. Because 15 plus 15 plus 15 equals 45. That's just my mental math, my number sense. I just see 45 and think 1/3, and that's 15. Alright, so 15 subtract 5 equals what? 10. So the number of people that voted no, 10 people, if the value of W is 45. Alright, what grade would I get if this were a random reporter? What grade would I get, children?
100.
Okay, I'd get 100. I gave you my math practice. I talked about how I was using, how I was making sense of the problem, which will go along with number 1. I then talked a little bit about mental math. That's kind of my toolkit. I showed you my processes, and then I showed you a correct answer. Alright, so I agree it would be 100.